we're going to have a quick look through the file settings of your Google Doc before we get started. The first thing to note is that if you go to the top left, you'll have the share. This is the same place, and it's also that big blue button in the top right corner. This is how you can quick and easily share this with someone in your workspace, or if you would like to share this with somebody else. Be aware that you will need to look carefully at the share settings, which we'll go through in a different video. Next is to just create a new document. You can either access the template store from here, or if you've realised you've clicked on the wrong document, you can create a different sheet, slide, form, or drawing, or even a new document from this setting. If you'd like to access a document you've already created, you can click Open. This will open straight to your Google Drive. You'll be able to see recent, previously selected, or even ones that have been shared with you. You can even edit files you've already created and upload them, and it will be one that is saved on your device already. This will make it available in your Google Docs. Next is Make a Copy. This might seem like a bit of a weird feature for someone who does not use Google day in and day out, but this feature is useful for if someone has shared a document with you that you'd like your own version of, or if you want to create duplicate versions of the same document but just with small changes, and it will keep the main body the same. The next setting is to email. This is different from the share version because will quickly send this as an attachment to an email rather than sharing the version of this with somebody. You won't have to worry about sharing settings doing this. An important aspect to note is that when you download a Google Docs file, it gives you different versions available. So if you're sharing to somebody else or you need the document for a specific purpose, you can save it as a Microsoft Word, an OpenOffice, or even a PDF or a plain text, which can easily then be sent to somebody else. Make available offline is important for if you want this document available wherever you go without internet. In another video, we'll look at making all of your documents in Drive available offline, but this is important if you quickly want to make sure something is accessible if you think that you will not have internet access shortly. Version history is specific to Google Docs and is quite important to note. You can name your current version, which means you will notify it so you can keep track of all the changes that's been made. In version history, you'll be able to see if anybody else has changed your document that you've given permission to, or also if you would like to revert your document back to a previous version, you can do that. You've then got the normal kind of options of renaming, moving, adding a shortcut to Drive, or just binning the item if you don't want them anymore. Publishing to web means that you can put this straight to embedded in a document or create a link that somebody else can use. Document C simply tells you where you've got it saved, who created it, when it was made, and when it was last modified. Language means that you can write in a different language and it will recognise this. So if you're writing in a non-native language or in an alternate text for somebody else or pasting something for somebody else using Google Translate, you can switch it so it will not recognise all of the information is kind of incorrect or not spelt correctly. Print is pretty straightforward. This is where you'll send this to a printer. You will have seen this option available on other computers. And finally, page setup. This is pretty similar. What you can do is you can select it to certain content or the whole document. You can change from portrait to landscape. You can change the size or the page colour. And you can even change your margins. What you can do is I've personally got a smaller margin saved on a lot of my documents, so I've actually set this as default. I might want to do this for if I have accessibility reasons, I want most of my pages to be blue, I can save that as a default, and any new document I create will actually already be in those settings. That's a very quick rundown of the files set version of the settings in Google Docs.